You're 10 years old the first time you burn someone you love, your cousin, your best friend. He dares you to light a candle with your pinky, and you want to be impressive. The way your father was, before he vanished in a blaze of legend. So you try. A puff, a flicker, a tiny harmless flame. But your heart skips, your anger flares, and then flash, boom, skin blistered, screams. Your aunt holds him like a corpse. Your uncle looks at you like you're a monster. That night, you stare at your palms until dawn, waiting for them to say something. Sorry. Or maybe, what have you done? You bury your hands in cold dirt. You whisper apologies to the worms. You dream of water, but wake with your pillow singed. You start sleeping with your hands wrapped in wet cloth. You flinch every time you see your reflection because your eyes now hold something untamed. You ask your mother if you're cursed. She says no. You don't believe her. You are born into fire, not just metaphorically, literally. A comet passes overhead the night your mother breaks water. Flames crawl the walls of the birthing hut like they know what's coming. They do. You arrive red-faced and already angry. The midwife drops you. You do not cry. Your cries come later in isolation. Because being a firebender isn't just a talent, it's a burden. It's sitting in a schoolyard while the others splash water, shape earth, call air like puppies. And you smolder. You crackle. You destroy. Children don't understand fire. Hell, adults barely do. Your first friend is a lizard. It doesn't flinch when you overheat. You name it Ember. It dies in winter. You cry for a week. When you're angry, you torch the snow outside the house until it melts into a mud pit. Your mother says, control comes from the breath, not the fist. You try to believe her. Sometimes you fail. You set a tree alight in the middle of a tantrum. It screams somehow. Wood screaming. Leaves curling into black confetti. You vow never to feel again. You learn to lie with a smile. To hide your twitching fingers. To nod politely when people talk about how fire is the most aggressive element. You learn not to talk about your father. No one else does. You spend your adolescence learning control. Monks teach you to breathe, exhale rage, inhale silence. You learn that fire can warm, that it can dance, that it can live. But the lessons taste like ash in your mouth, because for every spark you cradle, a wildfire waits. And it only takes one mistake, one heartbreak, one humiliation, one sleepless night, and then someone's eyebrows are gone, or their house, or their future. They make you wear gloves. Your teacher says it's symbolic. You know it's fear. They say don't let it define you, but it does. It defines the clothes you wear, the friends who stay away, the sleepovers you're never invited to. By 15, you can boil water with a glance. You ace every physical test, but you flinch when people hug you. You've burned too many. You start keeping a journal. You write with charcoal. Every page smells like grief. You burn the journal one night by accident, or maybe not. You wonder what your life would be like if you'd been born a waterbender. Would you be soft? Would you be loved? Would you be safe? By 20, you are a weapon, not a person. Not really. The military drafts you without asking. Your uniform is red, always red. Blood blends better that way. You scorch through borders, torch enemy camps, incinerate names you never learned. The generals love you. They say your flames are righteous. The enemy calls you the Ember Ghost. Children draw you with devil horns. You start to believe both. Your dreams fill with smoke. You wake up coughing even when nothing's burning. You try to write poems once about fireflies, about candles, but the paper keeps catching fire. You try painting. The oils combust. Eventually, you settle for carving stone with heat. It doesn't ignite. It just cracks. Quietly. You like that. You burn bridges. Literally. One general laughs. Another doesn't. You are reassigned. You lead a squad of 5. Only one survives your first campaign. He doesn't speak anymore. You don't blame him. You hear rumors about your father. Whispers. A defector. A war criminal. A madman. You feel the same blood in your veins and pretend it's water. Love is hard. People don't want to touch you. You run hot even on your best days. And kisses that start sweet sometimes end in singed eyelashes and apologies. You try dating another firebender once. It ends in a forest fire and a restraining order. You try someone without bending. They ask if you can ever just turn it off. You laugh so hard you cough smoke. You meet someone who doesn't flinch. They roast marshmallows on your palm. You fall hard, but they leave one morning without a word. All they write is, I can't keep fearing your dreams. You stop dreaming for a while, or you stop remembering. You try therapy, you melt the couch. You try meditation, you ignite the incense into sparks. You stop trying, you find a cat, or maybe it finds you. It curls up on your chest, doesn't flinch when you overheat in your sleep. You name it coal, it stays. Middle age finds you alone, not lonely, just alone. You open a tea shop, heat the kettles with your hands. Customers think it's a trick, you let them. Children gawk at your tattoos, the ones that cover the burn scars. You smile, you tell them you once kissed a volcano, it bit back. Sometimes you still wake screaming, sometimes your hands still glow in the dark. You keep a bowl of water beside your bed, not to drink, just in case. You start teaching a local girl, she burns down a chicken coop. You don't yell, you tell her, fire doesn't want to hurt, it just doesn't know how to stop. She nods, then cries, then tries again. You feel useful. You train more students. A boy who breathes smoke in his sleep. A girl who sets her own shadow on fire. A child who lights up every time she laughs. You build a garden in the back. Nothing grows for a year. Then roses, big ones, orange and crimson and gold. You name them after your mother. Cole dies one morning. Old age. Quiet. You hold him until he cools. Then you burn his body. Scatter the ashes beneath the roses. You whisper thanks. Then one day, you can't do it anymore. The spark's gone. No anger, no passion, no fire. You light a match and nothing answers. Your fingers stay cold. The doctor says it happens, especially if you suppress too long. The flame inside just burns out. You nod. Go home. Sit in the dark for hours. Not mourning, not quite relieved. Just still. You walk to the old battlefield once. Stand there until dusk. Whisper apologies into the wind. You think you hear one whisper back. You write one last letter to the cousin you burned. You never hear back. But one morning, a single candle is left at your door. Unlit, you smile, you light it. It flickers briefly, then dies. Still, for a moment, it was something. You die quietly. No blaze of glory. No phoenix finale. Just a quiet exhale. Neighbors say they smelled smoke the night you passed, but nothing burned. They scatter your ashes in a garden. A child watches. Says she saw a flicker. A tiny light. For a moment, the roses bloom out of season. And maybe that's enough. Maybe being fire wasn't about destruction. Maybe it was about warmth after all. Maybe it was always about learning how to be light.